You are with the Skeinz Diaries. I am Marie. It is Thursday, 1st of June. Yes, I know. Hold on to your trousers. It is the first day of winter here in the Southern Hemisphere, which is great because that means it's knitting weather. And I am pleased to say, after a wee hiatus, he's back. And it's time to say good morning to that. Good morning.
Good morning. Like Freddy Krueger, but in a cuter sweater.
Oh, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very good. I am
I actually
very
got to
good.
see you in person this weekend.
I know. We've
Oh
had a
my
weekend together. It's
God.
been very exciting. And you've got your fly. Is it fly?
I do. So this is Glowfly. This is the
Glowfly, not
Glowfly
glowfly.
pullover. Yeah, so this is the Glowfly pullover, knit in a very restrained palette called Vibe Check from Spin Cycle. So this is their dyed in the wool, the sport weight, and then some Rebel Light in denim as the background color. The neckline is a little more open than what I'm normally used to. As we all know, I like an
Mm.
anti-vampire device at the neck. Um, but I decided to follow Olga's instructions and actually knit the pattern as she wrote it, which is not
Shocker.
something well, okay. Confession time number one. Um, I knit a size 7 yoke, then I made a size 4 body, and sorry, a size 6 yoke, size 7 sleeves, and a size 4 body. Just by reallocating the stitches at the sleeve separation, everyone, I just put more stitches into the arms and fewer stitches into the body. So I got to the right numbers and it all worked out and it fits really well.
Mm.
But this is a good example of some of the top-down round yoke patterns will fit you. They'll fit anyone, but you might have to do a little jiggery pokery with some math to get it to do its thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, I find the top down round yolks work really well on both of us, which is really interesting
Yes.
to me. But we
Yes.
both need more shaping than the average bear.
Yes. And actually, I actually like that wider neck and the fit up there. It looks good.
Yeah, no, it sits really well and it rests over my shoulders exactly the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to in the pattern. So, as per usual, Olga has not. Although, can I sidebar? Have you noticed when you knit her patterns that her yardage and meterage is like always quite wacky? Do you always find I realized because you've knit tons of the Aranami shawls.
Yes, I have.
So this is my second in this stitch
Mm.
pattern, and about the eighth Olga thing. I always get the correct amount of yarn stated in the pattern. I always have heaps left over. I
Yeah.
just don't know if other people find that same thing with her.
But I'm finding that more and more often. And I think it's so I think it's making sure that the designers don't get any blowback from people that say, you said this
Oh,
much
yeah.
yardage and I didn't get enough yarn, because we've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah, it's the Brooklyn Tweed effect, where
Yeah.
do you remember that first collection that they did way back when, and all the yardages were too short? And then after that, all of theirs have been pretty much a full extra skein, I
Yeah.
find.
And I think it's just people being more cautious. I think, designers being more cautious. And look, both you and I know, I hate it when people come in having lost at Yarn Chicken.
Yeah.
And particularly if it's a limited edition color or it's something that you can't get or the batches have changed out and your heart's broken because they're like 99% there.
Do you have a ball of Vanitas and bone by any chance?
No, yeah, no. Must
Those
know.
are literally in the years that I've worked for Outlaw Yarn, our most frequently asked question is, do you have a ball of Vanitas bone? I'm not exaggerating. Probably happens on average 3 times a week. Someone emails us asking us for one ball of Vanitas bone. And it's
Yeah.
just like, no, but I don't do yarn chicken. I'm a professional non-yarn chicken player. If anything, I have the reverse problem. I always take more yarn than I need. And I'm very, very well known now because I tell people about it for the fact that I refuse to join yarn in sleeves. So I knit every sleeve out of a
Mm.
fresh ball because
But
I can't be
we've talked
bothered.
about this before though in terms of contingencies. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of and when you think about it, like I personally find 10% minimum, 20% optimum in terms of
Yeah.
contingency. And I know that that sort of adds an extra cost, but there is nothing worse, particularly if you're doing a large scale garment. You're better off to spend that extra 10, 20, $30 and
And
over an investment of $100 plus than not,
exactly. And the
it's, yeah.
reality is someone else won't have done it, and then
Mm,
you'll have the ball for them. Like
yeah.
that's the flip side of this,
Yeah.
fortune favors the prepared. So in the end, especially with some of our special edition yarns, we neither Marina or I really buy yarn. Let's be frank about this. I mean, we're good. We've got
Yeah.
we've got enough yarn, guys. Um, I will not lie. I do regularly accept free yarn. Which I need so much more of. I'm in a desperate situation where, the other day I was counting my fade sets and realized that I only have 7. um, but saying that, the flip side is like, so I never go on these destash pages, but strangely enough, I need something very specific, not to knit with immediately, everyone. I'm just adding to a collection. I've been buying this yarn up over the years, 1 or 2 skeins at a time. So I'm about halfway to my goal. And so I go on every so often, and I am very, very amused by the volume of people seeking out some truly weird stuff on these
Mm.
destash pages. Like things that it's like, for example, Brooklyn Tweed a few years ago did that Ranch '01, which is a naturally dyed yarn. And I happen to have the biggest collection of it as one sole person. And I know this for a fact. And it's funny because someone's looking for something that I know I have in my stash and I'm never going to use it. I'm also absolutely not going to sell it to them. And it's because they did the thing where they bought the exact amount of yardage specified, and then
Mm.
they had to add, and they say this in the post, they had to add length in the sleeves. So they've added, 3 to 5 inches to the sleeve on the first sleeve and gotten to the second one. And lo and behold, there's not enough yarn. So you always have to just buy extra.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
oh,
just
sorry.
yeah, exactly.
It was a
God,
very long, boring
gosh,
story.
we've dived straight in. Literally,
Yeah,
I had tech issues and I was running late, and I literally jumped and I said, "Ethan, let's go." We didn't even get to say hello to each other. It's been one of
we're
those
moving.
mornings.
We're
So
moving.
we obviously you've had a big couple of months. Let's catch up. Let's catch up in
Yes.
case my people haven't caught up. You've got a bit of news.
We've got news. Things are a changing. So I like to say, good news, no news, bad news. HQ, so the beautiful shop that we've had down in Christchurch the past several years, she's a going. So Deb is going to be closing up Outlaw HQ and at the same time discontinuing all of the worsted spun yarns, which is what it is. No news. Outlaw Online, our online platform, is continuing with me at its head. I'm taking it to a fun new location, and it's probably going to get a little bit of an overhaul. I think you'll all enjoy it. And the good news is, well, Outlaw HQ is closing. Get Flocked opens up on July 8th, which is my new retail experience in the heart of the Christchurch CBD at 225 High Street. So, right in the center of everything. It's going to be busy, kind of a wild timeline. Things, of course, always changing in our industry. You and I know this. We've undergone several, like, I want to describe them as industry traumas, especially with what went on with the scour in Napier, which
Mm,
has been just devastating across the board for our industry. And I don't know how well people really understand
no.
what that means. Um, so a lot of yarn makers, a lot of yarn companies, everybody's going to be doing some hard reassessing over the next couple of months. We're a little bit ahead of the curve at Outlaw, and we've decided to just kind of rip the band-aid off and make some bold changes. So Rebel and Rebel Light will be staying. You don't have to worry about that. You'll still be able to get those, no problem at all. Deb is going to be continuing with the dye house. So she's moving down the road. She's moving her whole setup to number 8. And she's going to be there doing what she does best, developing color, making new bases, and, doing all that. And I will be in the CBD where I truly belong, let's be honest here. Finally, walking distance to a bar and a Lululemon. Life is good. Um, And
And actually, you're opening the weekend before Bastille Day. I can almost feel something French coming on in your
oh,
first week.
you never know. You never know what could happen. I might like stage my own little situation. Sorry, I was about to make a French Revolution joke, and then I was like, oh no, that's bad. But yes, so it's going to be a busy, busy time. Um, our last guaranteed last day that you can catch us here at Outlaw HQ is the 24th of June, which is also going to be the final breakfast bourbon. I'm calling it Breakfast Bourbon, a fond farewell.
Oh, that sounds
Uh,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, well, I'll be back on here in the first week of July
Mm.
anyway to tell you all about the new podcast, which is going to be a twice weekly event with Get Flocked. So we're going to do a super fun knitting news show on Tuesdays. So it's going to be a shorter format, pre-recorded. We're going to go over new pattern releases from that week. We're going to talk Ravelry. We're going to talk random weird things we found in op shops, because that's kind of a thing Emily and I. Marie is smirking because she knows I have this really bad habit of buying the worst knitting books and patterns ever created.
Yeah, but
Um,
hello, I live in this glass house, so I can't throw
yeah.
stones.
Do you want to
Yeah.
see my most recent acquisition?
Go on. While you go and grab that, Sandra just popped up a question. Sandra, the jumper that I'm wearing is called Chaika, Chaika. It's by Midori Hirose, and you can grab that on Ravelry.
You're not prepared. None of you are ready for this.
Oh my gosh, My Little Pony 5
My
in the
Little
thin paddings.
Pony.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, it's the charts. It's
It's
all
the
about the
charts.
charts.
Yeah, it's Intarsia Unicorn charts. Everyone, I'm sorry, I don't have the kind of self-control to not knit with this. So I hope you're all excited to see some sort of strange, adult-sized My Little Pony jumper come out of this situation. Um, So, if you want to stay up to date with my random, because I'm going on a weird Intarsia knitting adventure this year. I don't know if people remember this. I discovered the wonder that is Susan Duckworth, and I haven't looked back since. Um,
Don't worry, I still have my Intarsia book in there, and I've even coloured in my Graffinetti everything.
yes.
But I just know that I'm not going to get it done in time for Knittalks night. So
Well,
but it's not to say that I'm not going to do it. I just, I've had a few things crop up across the winter that's kept me a bit busy. So my knitting time has
no.
been truncated, but I'm still going to do it. I quite like the idea of doing a little bit of
Well, you did
Intarsia.
manage to get a new love note out in time for Woolfest.
Yeah, well, no, I actually, yes. Well, I did that over the Christmas holidays, to be fair. When I turned up at Woolfest in the Love Note, so you may or may not remember,
Looks
Ethan,
could
at the
burn
end of last
sweaters.
year, we were talking about what I was going to do for my summer knitting. And he's like, well, you better not do another bloody Love Note. So I did it just to annoy him. So I did
Fuck's
do another Love
sakes.
Note. And
Well,
it was great. It looked fantastic, I thought.
I mean, at least you knit it to the proper gauge, unlike several of the ones
Oh
that the
yes, no, I
parade.
deliberately redid the gauge. So what I did do,
Mm,
and I had a number of people ask me about it, was I just knit it in the DK substitution, didn't do it with any fluff. The first one I knitted as written in the pattern from a gauge perspective. It's just too sloppy. I mean, look, I
yeah.
still love it. I thresh it. I wear it all the time, but it stretches, it pulls. I have to a lot of TLC goes on to keep that thing looking fresh. And this one I knitted in the Highlander Heathers in the DK, but I pulled the gauge back to 18 stitches and as opposed to 14 stitches, which is what the
Mm.
other one is. And it made the world of difference.
Yeah, it
Hey,
does look very
Maureen's just
good.
asking you, are you taking orders on Get Flocked yet?
Yes, so getflock.co.nz.
There you go. Well done.
And we are going to be expanding our selection rapidly. Surprise. But so everything will ship out once we're in the new space, Maureen. So any orders placed won't be shipped until we're settled in a month. So just so everybody knows, we do also have a pre-order for Tweety going on
Woohoo!
from Hedgehog Fiber. If anyone wants to really dip their toes into a ridiculous luxury product, I'm here to help.
So let's have a quick chat about Woolfest first, though, because we were both there. We were both next to each other. Not
Oh
that we
my
hardly spoke
goodness.
to each other. It was
No,
pretty
well,
nuts.
someone was busy all day, and someone was very busy. Yeah, someone was very busy being asked 1,001 questions, which
About
was
what,
great.
yeah.
So Woolfest, I think one of the strange things is coming from various industries that have a whole bunch of different trade shows. We don't have trade shows in the New Zealand wool industry.
No.
And there's only a couple left in North America. So it's actually the only time that we as like vendors and business people actually get to catch up in person. So setup day for Marie and I is always a little bit different than for everyone else because we take all of our yarn out, stick it on the table, and then go. While we watch everyone else craft truly beautiful. Many of them are beautiful displays, but I could not imagine spending that much time setting up a display for a yarn show. For all of you who did it, points to all of you, but I will take my open boxes, stick bags on table approach any day of the week. So what happened at Wolfie? The stampede was not as severe when the doors opened.
No, I have a theory on that. Apparently, see,
Uh,
this is the first time we were in shed 3, not in shed 4. And I
Oh,
think it was
okay.
because the stampede all comes into shed 4. And
Right.
because did you notice it took about 15 minutes to trickle
Yeah, to
through,
fill out.
to
Yeah.
fill out, and then it just went crazy. And
Yeah.
we also had, I thought, so we were in shed 3, which is, so the sheds are actually numbered in reverse order. So it's shed 4, shed 3, shed 2, shed 1. We were in number 3, and we were at the front end of shed 3. We had
Mm-hmm.
a neat little corner where we were. There was
Yeah.
the lovely Diana from the
Perfectly imperfect
Cabana,
twists.
yeah,
Yeah.
and perfectly imperfect twist. There was you, there was me, there was the Pearl
Pearl
Foundry
Foundry
on
was
the other
with us. Yeah.
side. Athalia from Donnybrook was across from us.
And
It
we
was,
just kind of made a united front.
yeah.
The four booths just all had our tables pushed right up to the edge. Thank God, because
Well, it was the only way I think that we could do that. A lot of a lot of
yeah,
tables were sort of recessed in. Both Ethan
our
and
booths
I
were
know.
just too busy.
Yeah, well, I think you did recess one year, and it was just a nightmare because you can only,
It
once
was
you
a
get 2 or
nightmare.
3 bodies in a space, people can't move around. I mean, we had it. I had everything pushed up to the front, and I mean, I was having people throwing stuff at us, and like in a good way, but just trying to. It was pretty nutsful, but it was a good
I think my
nutsful.
personal favorite was the number of people who brought their purchases from Skeinz over to me asking to pay. And I was like, well, I mean, I will take your money, but it is not for that yarn.
No,
Um,
yeah,
no, I
so
mean,
it was good.
it was hectic all
Yeah.
day. It was a nice, steady population of people. Not quite the same fall off that happens in other years, I found.
No, it was more. Yes, I noticed that. It was definitely more
Yeah,
consistent. And of course, Margaret and the team just do
they
such
do
a
a
good job.
fantastic job planning. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, I'm not trying to speak. Okay, I'll be honest. I really only go to 3 knitting events anyway. I'm
Mm,
sure there's more, but there's only 3 that are actually on my radar. And I must say, Woolfest and Capital Fiber Fest
mm,
are definitely my 2 favorites.
yeah.
My only complaint, if Margaret, if you're watching, my only complaint is the same one that I have every year, which is why am I in a shed? Which I yelled from my vehicle when I pulled up this year, as usual. Right? I immediately start complaining about being trapped in a shed for a day. Like, can we not get a decent convention center and
No,
like
I know.
climate control and like anyway? But being at the shed this year did have a huge advantage. There were
Yeah.
so many sheep this year.
Yeah, I actually heard these were. They
Yeah,
had them all like
I have a
grazing. It was
series of
actually really
hilarious photos with me.
yeah, it was
And
lovely.
there was a rainbow right at the end of the day, which I can only assume Margaret ordered just for me.
Oh, of course she did.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, just
No,
thoughtful that way.
it was very well run. And of course, Capital Fibre Fest is coming up. That is
June,
July. Today's June 1st. July 1st.
July 1st. Oh,
July 1st.
wow.
So that is
Do you think Claire should let us do these by ourselves?
so that is an Upper Hutt. I think it's Te Whare
Hmm.
Taonga
Yes, it is.
is
It's at
in
the community center attached to the pool for those
yes,
of you who
in
are
Upper Hutt.
locals. Yeah.
And it is wonderful. Zoe and her team do a great job. So I still haven't decided what I'm bringing because we've got lots of little bits and pieces coming through. So that decision probably for us won't get made until about a week or 2 out.
Yes.
Because
Well,
it's this,
I'll be
yeah,
taking whatever we've got
yeah.
because,
And you and I are opposite each other this time.
yeah.
So
In
yeah,
the
so
back corner, you have to come all the way in to see us. That's right. I think she did it on purpose. I think our little Zoe is clever, and she
well,
stuck us in the
it's
back
because I think
corner. She has
last
people
time
want
I
to
was
come
there, she
visit.
had me quite near the door, and we blocked everything off and created a bit of a problem.
People
So
loved it.
yeah,
I caused the same problem in the middle aisle. So I think she's like, at least if they're together,
Well, yes, exactly.
problem will be
At least if they put
contained.
us together, it will sort of drag people down. So,
Yeah.
and I quite like the fact that for you and I, it's sort of the cafe is just like right there on one
Right
side, and the
there.
toilets are just there on the other. So
Yeah.
I'm all good. Coffee in the loo. I'm
Same.
happy.
I'm
So
also going to probably bring the Gothic sign to put on the Happy Go Nitty stand. Um, that's a private in joke, everyone, but it'll be very funny when it happens, and there will be a lot of yelling. I
yes,
can't wait. I'm a
yes.
monster.
You are a
Um,
monster. No, but we're really looking forward to it, and
yes,
it's a great venue, and there's again lots of parking. It's and heaps of people travel from the Lower North Island to come and visit that event. So we're actually really looking forward to that. So that's the
I
next one
am really
for
looking
us.
forward to it. And the best part is I'm staying at our traditional Airbnb.
Yes, which Ethan and I stayed at last time, which is it's a treat. I'm staying
It's a
with my
treat.
brother this time, and I've got to get my jumper finished. I'm in Sleeve Island. I'm halfway through the second sleeve.
So, what are you knitting for Capital Fiber Fest?
So I don't know what I'm going to wear actually. I haven't dug something out, but I've got to get this thing finished for my brother because I'm seeing him and his birthday was in April and
Oh,
I
it's
still
your
haven't finished it.
brother's jumper. What are you
I know
knitting
I
for
still
him?
haven't finished it. I'm halfway through the second sleeve, and I know that once I finish that, because it's bottom, I'm doing it bottom up. Once I've done that,
Mm,
this portion is going to be like
yeah.
that. But it's just getting onto it. Now, I bought a couple of things that I'm gonna talk about because one of them I showed you while I was up in
I
uh
didn't like it. It was bad.
so the incognito, which I showed Ethan, I
Mm,
took a ball up to show him.
it's
And
very nice in
it is
person.
very, very nice. So it is up and live now. If you guys haven't caught up with that, it's actually been ticking along quite nicely. So it is utterly beautiful. For those who haven't caught up about this, this is a very fine, super fine merino, which usually goes into apparel manufacture elsewhere, but this it didn't this time. So we got our little sticky paws on it, and we've blended it back with some very fine pole earth to give these two beautiful muted tones,
Mm.
natural, and then we've dyed colors over the top, and it's spun to our orb construction. So it's beautiful, it's springy, stitch definition is off the charts, utterly divine.
And it's
So
got
that
that overtones, undertones look to it, right?
it
Like when you
does,
hold
it
them
does,
side by
and it's
side.
almost like, so I grabbed those two because those are the two lotus pinks, and it's
Mm,
almost like, as you were saying, it's like if you're in music, it's almost like a major and a minor tone
yeah,
in music.
exactly.
It's got that kind of vibe
It's
going about it.
very pretty.
So, and then this morning, I have just photographed these and they're loaded. So, I'm going to tell everybody here because I love you guys and you get to know first. I've put these colors up. I'm going to show you these colors, but you're not going to buy them today or tomorrow. Okay. You're going to buy them on the weekend because that's when they go on special for King's birthday weekend, just for the
Oh,
weekend. But I'm only telling you guys ahead of time here first.
Chaz, doing a solid for all of us.
I know. So, look.
Ooh, those aren't sad. Is that
No,
more
it's
Chatswood coming through?
Chatswood, and this is the new batch, and it is really squishable. I think there's been some more premium stuff stuck in here. Now, my camera, because I'm sitting underneath the site, my camera's showing this is Kelly Green, like classic, that beautiful
Okay.
Irishy Kelly Green. This one's called Nottingham. That one's called Devon, which is a beautiful dusty
Mm,
pink. And this one, we wanted people told us they wanted a warm grey / grey brown. Does that make sense?
okay, yeah.
Sort of taupe,
I
but
was gonna
not.
say taupe, but not sad.
Yes, yes. And so this is
Yeah.
this one here, and this one's called
Mm.
Newcastle. And this is like the ultimate neutral. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's a happy, warm, round neutral. I mean,
yeah, it
you could
is.
put
It
that
is
with
warm.
anything.
It's not a cold neutral. It's a warm neutral. It's actually really
No, but
lovely.
warm neutrals are definitely what's going in for this year, everyone. Like,
Mm.
don't
Which is
sleep on
part of the
that.
reason we sort of went those guys because they're warm neutrals
Yeah,
too. You
it's
know.
really great together.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, they are. So,
because that incognito has the same construction as orb,
hmm,
does that mean that if someone has some orb kicking around for some color work, that they should
yeah,
buy sweater quantities of the incognito to go with it?
Yeah, definitely. The
Okay.
incognito will have a little bit more spring to it because it isn't treated for machine washability. But actually, with the color work, that's quite good because with the orbit, will sort of actually
Yeah.
help lock it all in together so that
Yeah. Hold everything flat.
hold everything together. So these
Perfect.
Chatswoods are actually up and loaded now. I'll put the label upside down. Are loaded now, but they are going. You guys are the only ones I'm going to tell that it is King's birthday special weekend, 3 days only. Chatswood $3.95, and that's all of them. And fingers crossed, the Sheffield will be back in stock for that. They are superbering it as we speak. So we're doing that for King's birthday. And then right
Amazing.
across the month, I sent it out on the newsletter this morning because did you see our Nathan put a book out last month?
I did see he put a book out.
400 pages.
Yeah, it's intense.
It is intense. It is a tome. It is absolutely huge and amazing. And it's only in digital format because it's that big. So it's called Sockmatician's Double Knitted Brioche. He's got 16 patterns in there. But what is so special about this book is it is literally a full primer on everything double knitting and brioche and double knitted brioche, which has perfected as an art. There are patterns that start from primer patterns. If you've never done the technique at all, there's a couple of patterns there for absolute beginners. He walks you through every single step of the way. So every single stitch is curated. And then you can actually build up to more technical patterns as you go along. So we are doing a full month of spotlight on all Sockmatician yarns, which are $2 off. So $7.95 for the entire month of June. And then if you post in the Speakeasy anything, the theme is hashtag double knitting. You may interpret that how you wish, use your imagination, and you go into the draw to win a copy of the book as well as something a little bit extra special from us. And the book is available on Ravelry for purchase.
Amazing.
So what else is
I was just about to say, I have shocking news. We also have a sale going on, which is an unheard of event for obvious reasons. But so, as I mentioned in our news segment many, many minutes ago, we are closing out our worsted spun range at Outlaw Yarn. Now, I will not be at Outlaw Yarn any longer as of June 24th, so please don't forget, you guys. That's the last breakfast bourbon. Make sure you catch it. It's the end of an era and the start of a new one. What will the new show be called? Who knows? Will there be labels in a shop that say Designs by Chardonnay? You bet you. Because I'm funny. You're welcome. I'm funny. But we have our Bandit range on a bag promotion right now. So we have Bandit DK, Little Bandit, and let's see if I can. And did I grab 3 coordinating colors? You betcha I did. And Baby, upside down, damn it. And Baby Bandit, all on sale. So these guys are $70 a bag. And our sock bandit's also on sale, but it was too difficult to carry all up the stairs, so I gave up, everyone. Little Bandit is $50 a bag, and Bandit DK is also $50 a bag. So if you're hunting along on King's birthday weekend and you're like, you know what I need to go with my beautiful supple colors that I'm purchasing in the Incognito range, a little bit of candy pink, we're here for you. So make sure that you check that out. This does also mean that there's only ever going to be one batch of Nouveau, which I'm currently knitting with. I'm making a very subtle and sedate pullover. So this is Old Bow, but we have a whole range of colors. I'm just going to tell everyone now, though, if you come and look at the Nouveau, it's $20 a ball. It's a 100-gram ball, so that means $10 per 50 grams. Most of the colors are down to a single box. So that's 16, it's 16 bags or less of those colors. So please don't email me in 2 years at my new shop asking me for a ball of bone. Call back. But yeah, so we've got a special going on. I also have patterns left, right, and center, which I know Marie is probably telling
with
you all.
Nouveau, just before you jump off Nouveau, if you want to do the Nouveau, just buy it by the bag, people. That gives you
buy
enough.
by the bag.
That's
Yeah.
2,000 meters. Yes.
For pretty much everything.
And that will do you, because
Yeah.
it's, if you want to stash that up, grab it now, a bag of that, and then you're done. Grab your colours in.
Mm.
Yes, patterns. Well, in fact, I forgot. I've got your sweater. The Aran pullover is sitting literally right in the front when you walk in the door. Yeah, it looks fantastic. And did you see Guy's one that he's just finished?
Yes, his catharsis. Yeah.
Fabulous. One of our he's a contributor in both the Lear and the Speakeasy. He's just finished the Aran pullover. It looks amazing, and it's the customizability in that fit, I think, that makes
we were
such
talking about this an age ago, and we really just
Mm.
needed a basic Aran weight pattern that knit to it, because the thing is, as we both have complained ad nauseum, so many Aran weight patterns are knit on those 5.5 or 5 millimeter needles, and it's just too loose. For most of the Aran weight yarns, they really benefit from that 4.5 millimeter needle, that denser gauge. And what you'll find with Aran weight yarns is they respond better, and you can manipulate the fabric and customize it so much more.
Yeah.
And good news, there's a fingering weight version coming.
Are you doing a cardigan as well in that?
There's going to be a cardigan front. I'm about halfway through writing that up. Just got a little derailed over the past month or so, but we're nearly there. And if you're really hungry for a cardigan, you could always knit the Catharsis cardigan, which goes great in Nouveau. What you could do is get some Nouveau and some Pulse and use them together. That would be beautiful. The Catharsis cardigan is not here because most of my samples have gone home. But it is an all-over colorwork knit flat from Provisional Cast-Ons cardigan with a double knit button band with a round neck or a V-neck option, all in one pattern. And then I've got a hat pattern. Everyone just get ready to be bored of me saying I have a new pattern, okay? It's going to be like an every couple of weeks.
You have been saving these up for years.
Years. I am the world's slowest pattern writer, but what I've decided to do is, you just actually have to sit down and get them out there. So this is the DK weight hat pattern version. This one was knit in Spin Cycle Dream State in the Hidden Place. Obviously, any DK weight yarn will do. It's just a little bit of ribbing. He lies blithely. But the other thing is, a fingering weight version of that is coming out for all of you masochists out there. You're welcome. And a fingering weight knit flat pullover is on its way soon. Someone is just finishing up. I actually have contracted out the sample knitting for some of this stuff. And then, this is shocking news for the whole world. After I've released cardigan fronts for the Aran pullover, I'm actually going to be doing a testing call for a top-down cardigan. Oh, I know. Who would have thought the day I would have said that sentence was coming so soon? And a bottom-up pullover with mohair.
Ooh. Well, there's so much going on, and the nice thing is it's the 1st of June today, which means it's the first day of winter here. So
it's time to knit.
It is time to knit. And I don't know about you, I think with all the wet weather everyone has been experiencing, there's been a lot of knitting going on. Not quite so much for me, but I'm getting there. I'm looking forward to King's birthday weekend to get that knitting done. It should be really good. So again, those dates again, let's just cover off those dates. The final breakfast bourbon is
June 24th.
June 24th. You and I will get together. Actually, it'll be probably a post roundup after Capital
Fiber Fest.
It'll be straight after Capital Fiber Fest. So it may or may not actually, because I am looking at taking a little bit of time off straight after Capital Fiber Fest.
What?
I know. So we may, depending on how we go, we may catch up just prior to that or just after. We'll see how.
Perfect.
Well, we could even do it on the Friday, couldn't we?
Just my God, we could.
We'll see how we go. But we'll definitely try and sneak another one in. And yes, school holidays. Will you believe that weekend, this time next month, is school holidays? So
already.
I know. Oh, yes. I am looking at probably sneaking away for a week during school holidays. So I may have a few days off. But other than that, we are out and about. So everybody have a great King's birthday weekend. And then we'll also, school holidays, Martinique's coming up next month. There's still plenty more to talk about. Thank you so much, Ethan. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. And I will talk to you again on Monday. Oh, no, I won't. King's birthday.
King's birthday. You're
King's
off.
birthday. I will talk to you again next Thursday. Take care. Bye.
Bye.